Hey guys, this is Jenna with Hill Valley Farm, and it's been a while since we've given you guys an update. There's just been a lot going on, and it's been a lot of fun. But I do think that it is time to do an update on number one, how we did in the show season, and then what we're up to now. So let's go ahead and get started. We started out the show season in the middle of May 2025 at the Southern Belle Showdown. Caden ended up winning first place in his senior showmanship class, and we took several of our does to show. Here's Moon, there is Butterfly, and we are so happy to announce that in this youth show, Hill Valley Butterfly Effect won Grand and then went on to win Best in Show. And so here's Caden signing the paperwork on the ROA, and we had to get a picture of him with our mentor. And then here is Caden pictured with Judge Karen Smith, who awarded Butter her Grand and Best in Show. And so that was a very successful show for us. We went on to Illinois at the end of May, where Hill Valley Wonderland's Alice won Reserve Grand Champion, so that was very, very exciting. And at the end of June was the SMDGA Summer Classic. Here, pictured with Caden, you'll see a new girl. We brought her home that weekend. This is Vista Oaks. That's what Sheila said. And she is Sheila's birth sister's daughter. And so here he is pictured with her. She did great in that show, winning first place in her class for 2 classes. And here, Hill Valley Wonderland's Alice won not only Grand Champion, but Best in Show in one of the open show rings. So we were super excited about Alice. And Vista Oaks, that's what Sheila said, ended up getting a Reserve Grand in one of the rings as well. We also took Lila, pictured here with Caden. She ended up winning first place in 2 of her classes. And so it was really thrilling to see Lila back in the ring after a couple years. Next was the Tennessee State Fair, where Caden won first place in showmanship in the senior showman division. And then we just have some pictures of us showing because they had photographers. And so we got some good pictures of the girls. Here pictured is Butterfly. And here is Lila. She, again, looked stunning during the show. Lots of competition. We placed fairly well. The judges just were not loving our style, and that's okay. You run into that occasionally. But here's Caden with Chupa, which is, we call her Twist. Vista Oaks, that's what Sheila said's mother. So what are we up to now? Now is the time when things start to calm down. We have dried off the does. That took at least a month or 2 to really finalize and finish drying them off, because I do dry off the does really, really slowly. I go slow because I want to make sure that their udder is super healthy when we're drying them off, because it can get, mastitis does happen. So we've always just really been super careful when we're drying off. We also want to make sure that they're not uneven, or that, that everything is at one point or another completely reabsorbed. And so that's what lately we've been doing, is totally drying off the does, because we ended up having 8 in milk for quite some time. And it was great because, we sell the milk. We're able to pay for the feed with the milk. And so it works really, really well for us here. And so that has been a total blessing. I would like to say that, and point out that the does since March have completely paid for their grain, their feed. Now, that does not account for their hay, their alfalfa, any medications that we've had to buy, or anything else, show entry fees, gas for the truck, but my whole goal for this year was that while they're in milk, they pay for their grain. And it's not just their grain, it's the top dressings that we use, or anything additional that we put into their feed, like beet pulp or a certain horse feed that I got this year to help with the very dairy does keep weight on, because some does just put literally everything into their milk and it's really hard to keep weight on them, and we have a couple of those. And so that really helped us a lot to be able to use the milk, that money that we got, and put it back into their feed. They not only paid for the milkers feed, but they also paid for the does, the dry dough feed, the buck feed, and also the chicken feed. Yeah, because our layers decided to go on strike this summer, and so I wasn't selling very many eggs. So the goats pulled the chicken's weight. So that was really cool to see that they can and did do it. And so that was wonderful. The other thing that we're working on right now is breeding. So we put out a breeding schedule. I will list it at the end of this video. And I put it on our website, and it's also on our Facebook page, and I believe Instagram. And it's, it's not like on the website is the most detailed with the pictures of who and when and all that. But I did make a Canva poster of our breeding plans with our logo in the background. It's really pretty, but it just has the names on it. It doesn't say specifically when, but in all honesty, you can say when you want them to kid all day long. They have very different ideas from what you want. So your idea of when they kid is probably great, but it's not their idea. So it doesn't always align up perfectly. So I try not to go totally by that, because I know that it's going to change what I want. Or like this doe won't settle, but I will do a breeding with this doe instead of this doe. Like I'll trade it out. And, some of the pairings might change, So the breeding schedule is definitely subject to change, whether it be when or who, but it's inevitable. At some point, something is going to change. So this is Willow. I've woken her up from her nap, and she is super, super sweet and really, really pretty. Yes, you are, aren't you? And she likes to run after the chickens and the turkeys. And I know her friend Trixie was around here because I did see her. But she's very small, but she is, she's lazy right now, but she's a really good little hunter. And then out here we have some of the girls. Oh, there's Butter. And Ima, and Aurora, and Alice, and Sky, and Faylene, and Puff. We've got Daisy. We've even got Moon over here in the corner. And then out there is Dicey. And then way out there is Risky. And so, like I said, we've done some breedings. I'm constantly looking at the buck fence, making sure there's no does next to it. And if there are, I need to know who it is. Because, breeding season, you got to catch them when they're in heat, when you're ready for them. And the juniors are over here right now. They're probably going to be moving back with the main doe herd next week, because I'm wanting this field to rest for a month so I can get the bucks over here for the rest of November, December, and January. There's Twist. But we've got quite a few. We've got a couple available still. The one right there, it's in the middle. That's Moon Pie. She was on my keeper doe list, but honestly, I don't need to keep 9 doelings, and so she made it off the list. So she is available. I've also got one of Faylene's does available, but the rest, there'll be 7 that we're keeping for now. And this is one of them. This is Twist. She came to Caden at the end of June from our friend Lacey at Vista Oaks. She is out of Sheila's birth sister. So we have a piece of Sheila, as well as a couple of Sheila's daughters. Which I thought I saw one. Oh, well, there's one. There's Daisy. Daisy is a Sheila daughter. Something else that we worked on for the summer is we have this little hut that I am going to paint it and make it look a lot better. But we have this little hut and I wanted to use it for our little bucklings. In the years past, I've always just put our bucklings over with the bucks. But I've got 4 pretty large adult bucks and I've never had that many at once. And so it is not great to put the little boys with the bucklings, or with the big boys. So we have a little space over here. Now the one on the far right is sold. He will go to his new home soon. And the other 3 are ours. So this guy standing up on the trough is Sky's son. Sky's right here. Hi, Sky. So he is Hill Valley, I gotta think, L.R. McLeod of Sky. You'll remember he was one of the 2 big boys born to Sky back in April. And the one in the middle now, the Coup Claire, is Blessings at HTRG Titanium. We got that from our friends Rachel and Evie at Evie's Hilltop Blessings. He is out of Primrose, who is out of their Rose Gold, and Cracker Jack, Cade's Little Farm Cracker Jack. So that is an exciting boy that we have brought in. The other little boy all the way to the far right is Vista Oaks Tiramisu Tundra. So we're calling him Tundra. He is out of Godiva and Winning Streak, Vista Oaks Godiva, who is a Finnish champion, and Winning Streak Boss Bunny. So we have brought some Winning Streak in, plus the Godiva lines. I absolutely love Godiva. He is a small little guy, but he is growing, and so we're very excited to have all 3 of these guys. And the gold one, he will be Hill Valley G Moneymaker, and he's going to a repeat buyer. I'm interested that Sky seems to be flagging because she needs to be bred this month. But I'm waiting to see. So anyways, that's the little boy. So in the little hut, they have their hay, and they're fed along the fence just like the big boys are, and they have their water hanging on the fence just like the big boys do. So it seems to work out really well, and I'm really, really happy with that setup. I'm thrilled with the little boys that we have. And Titanium is really, really nice. Super excited to have them. So that's a lot of what we've been doing. Clearly there's other things, but that's the majority of what's been going on around here. I will plan to show you guys our retained doelings and who they are and why we settled on them. And I just want you to know their names and introduce you to them because they are sweet and lovely and wonderful. So that will be something that we do. We also want to go over, at least I do, want to go over the new barn cat and how we got her and how we kind of acclimated her to the barn, because I feel like a barn cat is so instrumental on a farm. And so I kind of want to go over that because I think it's important and it helps, because it was not easy with a kitten, you know, so we had to think through things that we did. But that is another video for another day. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do that now. And until we see you again, I hope you have an awesome goat field day.